The AEC industry has come a long way in terms of speed of the project. The ability to make things happen near instantaneously has revolutionized the way things are built. But all the teams had better be on the same page when projects developed with such quickness that's going on now. Collaboration becomes not just a buzzword, but a necessity. Welcome to Bridging the Gap with Applied Software. I'm your host, Todd Wyant. This is the show where we break it all down for you, and we bring experts from the AEC and the manufacturing industry. We'd love to hear from you, so please interact with us by liking or commenting on this video. Today we are joined by one of Applied Software's Senior Solutions Specialists in collaboration, Rick Kremer. Welcome to the show, Rick. Thanks for bringing a little holiday spirit with you.
You're welcome, Todd.
Can you just start by giving us a high-level overview of your background?
Sure, absolutely. First, and thank you all for attending this seminar. I'm excited to be here, and as you can see, into the holiday spirit. So happy holidays to everyone who's watching. A little bit about myself. I've been working in the architectural industry for the past 22 years, and within that time, I've actually worked as a project manager and as a project architect in different roles. Most recently as a CAD manager and a BIM manager, responsible for overseeing teams working on commercial, federal, and institutional projects. About 8 years ago, I was introduced to Revit and haven't looked back ever since. And so my job, my role and responsibilities is helping others move from an AutoCAD to a Revit experience.
Nice, thank you. So I want to kind of establish a baseline on how collaboration has really evolved in the AEC space. What changes and trends have you seen going on recently?
Well, that's a great question. Basically, a lot of trends are for teams to work more efficiently and more coordinated. Our drawings are getting a lot more, let's say, complex and given a shorter period of time to complete them. So the trend really is to work more efficiently and deliver a project that's on time, under schedule, and under budget.
Nice. That's a good trend. Good
Yes.
words to hear. So what are some frustrations, maybe some drawbacks that architects are really facing right now when they don't have strong collaboration with the engineers or the consultants or maybe even other offices?
Right, that's a great question. Right now, one of the biggest challenges I see within the industry is as an architect working with others. We're always responsible for other people's work and coordinating with their drawings. So their drawings are crucial that we're always stay coordinated with the latest, greatest drawings. One of the frustrations that I've always come across in any architectural firm is the fact that I have to make sure that I'm working with the latest drawings and checking my emails and reaching out to my engineers to see if I have the latest, greatest drawings.
Gotcha. And you touched on this a little bit just then, but from an architect's point of view, why is collaboration so important?
Well, collaboration is so important because, quite frankly, the architect is, again, so responsible for the entire package. He or she is coordinating all the different disciplines all at the same time and making sure that everything is well coordinated. Think of it like an orchestra. Everything has to be in harmony. If not, it sounds awful. An architect's responsibility is making sure that all the pieces, parts that are moving are well coordinated.
Gotcha. Very cool. So what in the marketplace right now is there really for collaboration across the different design teams and multiple offices?
That's a good one. So right now, in the past, let me actually go back a little bit.
Sure.
Previous to something that just came out earlier this year from Autodesk, teams were relying on emailing their drawings to the other engineers or sending it via FTP or even Dropbox. Each one of those has a incredible drawback. So Autodesk came out with this technique, this service called BIM 360. Right now, BIM 360 Design is the service that Autodesk provides for engineers and architects and designers to work collaboratively on a file in Revit. What does that mean? It takes that file that everyone's working on, instead of it being on their server and then having to worry about emailing it, it sits on the cloud. And then the file itself is shared between all the different disciplines and the engineers live.
Nice. Very cool. So two phrases that every architect would love to hear about their projects is ahead of schedule and under budget. Can BIM 360 design really help with this goal? And if so, how does that interaction come?
Absolutely. So you hit two things that are really crucial: on time and under budget. Every architect, right from the beginning, when they start to work on a project, they project a schedule of how long it's going to take them to complete the project.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them an estimate of how much time and also how much money is going to be left over in their pocket for profit. When it comes to profitability in an architectural firm, the key is efficiency. And rework and red lines are the killer when it comes to an architect's workflow. That takes off of the bottom line. In BIM 360, what you have is you have the ability to work live on that file all the time. So any minor changes that you see, let's say as the architect and I'm working with an engineer, as they make changes, I'm able to reflect and make those minor modifications. So when I'm working on my drawings, I'm not losing time. The analogy I'd like to give you is a lot of people might understand taking a long road trip, especially for the holidays, right?
Sure.
So you go on a road trip, and let's say I'm driving from Florida all the way to California, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go on the road and basically use my GPS or Waze. And constantly as I'm driving, I'm going to constantly make adjustments to the way I'm driving. I'm going to take this road versus this road because my GPS or Waze is going to tell me, don't go that way, you need to go this way. It keeps me on track. Think of an architectural project as a road trip, getting from point A to point B. That GPS or Waze is the equivalent of BIM 360 design. As we're making modifications, we're seeing changes of the other drawings, and so we're able to make immediate changes. Now, let's say if we moved away from BIM 360 design or just eliminated GPS, and I made a road trip today from here to California, Florida to California, without any GPS, I might take the wrong road and I might go on the wrong road for days. When I look back at my map and realize I've gone way out of my way, I've now increased the time it takes me to go from point A to point B. A project, an architectural project, is really no different. The GPS allows us to maintain that track and make small corrections so we maintain our goal and get there in time and get there under budget. A project is no different. With BIM 360 design, we're able to make those small minor modifications and get to the end goal. So you talked about saving time and money and under budget. Those two things really are crucial to making sure that you're working collaboratively with your team and making those minor modifications instantly, maybe hourly, instead of every week.
Gotcha. That's a great illustration. Thanks for that.
Sure.
I like imagery that you can really get your head wrapped around it. That's awesome. Thank you. So working with different versions of the project can be a real headache, as you just laid out. How can BIM 360 design come alongside and alleviate the stress even more?
Well, that's a good question. So the different versions of Revit, basically, if I'm working on an out-of-date file for me and my team, we might be working on two different versions, and I might be working on an older version of the file versus someone else working within my own company. BIM 360 enables us to work together on the most current file, what I consider to being the one truth. The one truth is the one drawing that is the one common truth file. And so as the architect, I'm always working on that one true file. And the same thing applies for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structure. And when they're working on their one version, they know that they're working on that most current version. So rework and wondering, are they working on the right file? Did they click on the right one on the server? Is a thing of the past. In addition to that, when working together as the architect and engineer, I know that when I'm bringing in my mechanical drawing into mine, I'm looking at his or her most current drawing. And that's something that can be set up within BIM 360 design. And I can't tell you how many times I've been on the phone with architects and engineers, and they lose time and money because they have been working on an old file.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on our show today,
Absolutely.
Rick, and for bringing that holiday cheer and all this really valuable information. I really appreciate it. And thanks to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you are interested in learning more about BIM 360 design or any of our other services, you can visit asti.com. Until next time, I'm Todd Wyant, thanking you for joining us on Bridging the Gap. Have a good day, everybody.